yes, here come the dollies. They got fresh sinkers, hot coffee, and the sweetest smile.
Welcome back to the Clubmobile, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
She's so perky this morning.
I have to be. Listen, I've been up since 4. Snip snappy. Let's go.
I think people would be amazed at the hour at which we do this, mostly for you, not so much for me.
Yeah,
But,
it literally is for me.
It is. It's for you. We are back with another bonus book club episode for you guys, which means third girl in the truck is hanging out with us today. Sage is here.
It's our favorite day of all the days because Sage gets to hang out with us.
Love getting to do this with you guys.
Good, so do we.
There was never a better built-in book club correspondent / friend than you.
Exactly.
It was like the universe just said, hey, you can have this friend, and guess what? They're also going to be able to do this. They also do this. They're good with the books.
Exactly. If you guys read along with us, as you should have been, obviously.
Shame on you if you didn't.
What were you doing?
We had a great set of books this past quarter. We had Slinging Doughnuts for the Boys by James H. Madison, and If I Perish by Evelyn Monaghan, Propaganda Girls by Lisa Rogak, and WASP of the Ferry Command, Women Pilots, Uncommon Deeds by Sarah Bryan Rickman.
We had a nice round out of the books. I think we covered a lot of different topics, which was good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Let's go from the top. Slinging Doughnuts for the Boys. Sage, how did you feel about it? I know that we all when we read it, we were all sort of weeping together at one point.
Yeah. I loved this one. I love an epistolary moment, lots of letters. I was crying by the end of this one.
Yes.
Same.
Yes. Just going for it.
The Red Cross continues to leave us crying at the end of all the books.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you haven't read along, it's the story of Donut Dolly Elizabeth Richardson, who was with the Clubmobile Kansas City, and she begins in Leicester, and she sort of moves on through that area of England.
She visits with the 82nd Airborne quite a bit while she's in Leicester.
Yeah. And very unfortunately, towards the end of her service, she does pass away in a aviation accident.
Non-combat aviation accident.
The war was over.
Yeah, the war is over. It's past VE Day, and she's given a 48-hour pass, and she's on her way to France, Paris, to meet up with her sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
And she's flying over there. She loved flying. Once she got a taste of being able to kind of puddle jump between spots, she fell in love with it. And she was with a friend who was a pilot, and it was a very experienced pilot.
Yeah.
And it was just a freak accident.
Yeah. Incredibly sad.
It is incredibly sad.
So sad.
But for how sad it ends, it's a wonderful book, and her letters to her family are very loving, and she seemed like a very sweet girl. I will say that towards the end I was already upset because most of her letters begin with, why isn't anyone writing me back?
Oh
yes.
I'm not receiving any mail. Maybe it's just the war, but I don't think they were replying. I don't think they were.
No,
I
responding.
I remember there was one letter where she was like, maybe I should just only be sending letters to my brother because he's the only one who's replying.
He's the only consistent one. And then
she gets very vulnerable about it in her journal entries, because towards a certain point, the letters kind of intertwine with her personal journal entries. And she does get letters from her friends back home.
Yes.
Yeah.
She gets letters from friends. She gets letters from her brother. But her parents, it was a very odd thing going on there, that her parents were not writing to their daughter who was so far away during war.
Very odd dynamic.
But she had a very good outlook on life throughout all of it.
Sure.
And she was very spunky and had this really great spark about her. And I love that you kind of piece together little bits of where she was, and then like you realize you read something in another book, and it's like, oh, Liz Richardson was
kind of.
in this area when this was happening. And I think one of the things that we pinpointed was that was during the not repatriation, during the time when the POW camps were being liberated, and the men were being kind of put into these, not, I don't want to call them camps, but they were calling them camps. So it was like Camp
They
Lucky
were like
Strike,
they were like overspills,
like
weren't they? But they
overflow or
called them
overspill,
camps.
when they
Yeah.
would kind of book all the men to say, okay, we have you. Okay, now you're going to go here and you're going to go home.
Mm-hmm.
That John Egan from the 100th passed right through where Liz Richardson was serving in Le Havre, France. Did I say that right?
Le Havre.
Le Havre. It sounds better when she says it. But that's where Camp Lucky Strike kind of met, and the men would pass through before they were sent on a troop ship home. And there's a diary entry from John Egan that the 100th recently shared, where he's like, passed through Camp Lucky Strike, spent a few days. The champagne was really good. And it's like, Liz Richardson talks about how much champagne they were drinking at that time. And I'm like, oh my God, I bet you. He's like, we drank champagne at a chateau. And I'm like, I bet that they crossed paths, and now like they didn't know each other at all. Yeah. But we could put it together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always like such a cool thing to me, where I'm like, wait a minute, this here and this here. Really, and it like it puts a whole puzzle together, and it's just, I love books for that reason. I really do.
Yeah. When we can connect things.
You can connect the dots. But
it's really, really good. I loved this one, even though of course it did leave me crying. I really, really enjoyed it. So
5 stars for Liz Richardson.
Yeah,
5 stars. All the stars.
5 donuts for Liz Richardson.
5 donuts for all the donuts for Liz.
Yes.
Bless her.
And she's buried in Normandy.
She is. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
She's buried in France.
And I think that
she's only one of 4 women there. And the other 3 are the women from the 688, correct?
I think
one
so.
One of them is one of the women from the 688, and I think the other 2 might be nurses.
Oh yes, maybe nurses.
Yeah. I know that, was it the Red Cross that helped pay for the families to go and visit the grave site as well? So her brother had been there, and her parents had been there, and
after the fact, obviously.
I'm surprised they didn't repatriate her.
Yes, me too. I'm very surprised they didn't repatriate her, but I think she loved it so much over there.
I was gonna say, she loved it so much.
She really did.
Loved the service, that maybe they thought she would prefer being here, where she was having a great time. So it's a great book. I'm really happy that James Madison fell into this rabbit hole, because he began writing it because he saw her gravestone, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, she's only one of 4 in here. What's this story?
Yeah.
So very, very good. Next up is And If I Perish by Evelyn Monaghan. This was the first time we've had a book where we've been like split.
Yeah.
On a review.
I think this is the first time the 3 of us all have differing opinions on a book.
Yeah. I read most of it, and then I didn't touch it for 3 months, and I finished it in time for this. It has an excellent, like, when you read the blurb, you're like, this is going to be great. It's about army nurses.
These are the frontline combat nurses.
Yeah, the combat nurses. And the whole idea of it is excellent and great, but the problem I had with it was, I had numerous problems. The chapters were incredibly long.
Yeah, that I agree with.
After a while, the text was too small.
The text is incredibly small.
So easily, while the chapters are so long, you've got this tiny text, and you're like, oh my goodness.
So it's almost like reading double the length of these already long chapters. And look, I'm not like, and none of us here are afraid to be like 500 pages. I'm on it, right?
Yeah, easy.
But
easy.
That's like 1,000 pages at the end of the day. That's double the work. And after a while, your eyes start to cross.
That's what it was. And I was like, I'm actually pained reading this. So I
Yes,
was like,
it
oh,
actually
maybe
was. I was actually like, I have to close this.
yeah.
Like,
I was like,
Mhm.
I
maybe
think I need a
if I
Tylenol. My head hurts just from
yeah,
straining to read the words.
let's get a bigger text version. Oh wait, those don't exist. And then the other issue I personally had with it was that it was, while I know that you need some context of why the nurses were there
Mhm.
and why they were set up
Mhm.
in certain places, I didn't need to know 100% of what the men were doing. I can go Google that. I don't know what the women were doing because I can't Google that. Thus, I need a book to tell me, a book that has been written
Right.
Yeah.
to tell me what they were doing, because the
Yeah.
information that they're writing about is not easily accessible as what all the men were doing,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
the battles they talk about, they're right there, they're at my fingertips. What the women did, it was sort of, I don't know, maybe.
Right.
So that
Mhm.
was my issue with it, was that
It starts
yes,
out strong with what
It
the women were doing.
starts out
it
really
does.
strong.
Yes.
And I feel
Yeah.
partially responsible for this book landing on our list because I picked it up at the museum
No,
and
it
I
was
saw the
me.
It
cover.
I
it
bought it
it
first.
sounds really good.
Did you?
The
I
blurb
felt
and
like,
That's the
everything
thing.
makes it seem like it's
yeah.
going to be all about the
I
girls.
saw the cover of it in the gift shop at the museum in New Orleans, and I said to
Yeah.
my aunt, and I was like, "See if you find that," because it was just one in a display. And I said, "See
Yeah.
if you see that anywhere else. I'm looking for it." And she's like, "I don't see it." So I asked one of the people working. I was like, "Do you have any more of these?" And kid was like Stretch Armstrong. He was like Gumby. He reached all the way up and took it off the shelf, and he was like, "Here, you can take this one." I was like, "Okay." Thanks.
Thank you. I'll have it. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, I guess.
And woman, to me, it was like, there's a woman on the cover. She's wearing a helmet. She's not got her back to the cover. I could see her face. I
Mhm.
was like, this is going to be good, right? Ooh, nurses, yes.
Yeah, we were like, amazing. This is
Yes.
the first book on nurses that we have read.
And you guys got to
No.
it before I did in my rotation of what I was reading. And the two
Yeah.
of you had your very strong opinions on it. And I was like, immediately, I said, I'm not going to like this book. They don't like it. I'm not going to like it.
But surprisingly,
Surprisingly, I was the odd man out. I really enjoyed it. Aside from my small gripes with it, which were the length of the chapters and the size of the text, my other gripe was that I've never ever in any book I have ever read seen Operation Tidal Wave Torch.
yes,
Mm,
it's one of
I've
them.
never seen the
one of them.
invasion of North Africa and
Yes.
Sicily referred
Mhm.
to as D-Day.
Yeah, it was
They were calling
Yeah.
it D-Day North Africa, D-Day Sicily. It was just, they had their names, right? They had names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D-Day was D-Day. D-Day was June 6th. I've never
Yeah.
seen D-Day referred in other operations before. It's either just been the name of the operation or the invasion of North Africa or the
Yeah,
Mediterranean
right.
campaign or the invasion of Sicily. And to me, I was like, D-Day. I was like, they're landing in Africa. Why are they calling it D-Day? Right? They're in Tunisia. They're landing in Tunisia. Why are they calling this D-Day? It's not D-Day. And that was a problem for me because I was like, now I feel like you're overshadowing, like you're trying to give everything a D-Day. No, not every landing was D-Day.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
I think I took it to more of a personal approach because my grandfather was in Tunisia. My grandfather was in Sicily. He was in Naples. I think he was at Anzio. I don't recall. I can't ask him.
Right.
He's long gone. But I remember reading it, and then it was the episode of World War II with Tom Hanks on History Channel, and they were showing that campaign. And now I was like, I've just put the text to the pictures and the videos.
Yeah.
And I called my dad and I said, how did he make it home? I said,
Yeah.
how did he survive? How did he make it home? I don't
Yeah, how did that
understand.
even?
So I kind of felt like I had this now map of what he did and this kind of
Yeah.
written explanation of what he was doing and what he
Right.
saw. And then I kind of stopped and went, okay, if he hadn't have survived, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
Our
Exactly.
name
Yeah.
our name would have carried on because his first son was born during the war. My dad's oldest brother was born during the war.
Yeah.
So yes, our last name would have carried on, but would there have been 3 other sons after that son?
Exactly.
No. would my,
Right.
I would be here. And it was a very kind of personal thing, I think, for me to read it.
Of course.
So while I did have my problems with like more so like formatting issues, I would say it's more formatting, not content for me.
Agreed.
I do though feel like we could have gotten more of what the women were doing. And I do understand they worked incredibly close with the nurses, and you have to know about the doctors because the nurses work hand in hand with the doctors.
Yeah.
And it all kind of unravels itself. But I do see it from your point too, where I'm like, the boys set up our pup tents, and then the boys did this, and then the engineers did that. And it's like, but when the engineers when the engineers left your area and went and did this, why are we hearing about what they did over there? Why aren't I hearing about what happened after the engineers left?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear more of. So I do agree with it from both of your perspectives on that side, but I did enjoy it. It was a long read. Look, that book took me over a month to get through.
And usually we're quite on it. We can do like 2-3 weeks and we're like, oh, I'm done.
Yes. The text is so small that one pothole on the bus, and I was like, where was I? I'm like, where was I?
Which word?
Where the hell was I reading? Like, and then I would just end up reading the whole page over again.
Yeah, so it takes even more time.
It would take me even longer time. Yeah, over a month to read that book.
Insane. Did you both catch, like, speaking of formatting issues, did you both catch where, so there, I forget which page it's on, but there is a picture of a couple of nurses and there's two guys in between them. And it says, name of nurse died during this bombing incident.
And we hadn't even gotten to where that bombing incident happened yet. So yeah, she's dead before it even happens.
And then 3 pages later, it's like, unfortunately, nurse name passed away. Yeah, I know, you told me 3 pages ago, but I was reading about her now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So that bugged me. That was when I was like, I'm good for a minute.
The start of it was so strong with what they were doing when they first get to North Africa, when they have to clean up that hospital, and then they do the Christmas celebration there. I was like, this is really great.
Yeah,
and then it was like, you kind of watched it kind of tank a little bit there.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
And then there was another bit where when the ship gets bombed.
Yes.
There's a lot on the girls there as well. When the chief nurse is killed in Anzio and the one nurse has to dress her in her class A's and prepare her.
Yeah.
That's another bit where it's like, this is the kind of content I'm looking for in a book about frontline combat nurses.
Agreed.
If I want to know what the engineers in the 82nd were doing, or the engineers behind Patton's Third Army, or if I want to hear about the soldier that was in bed practically dying that Patton said you deserved to be shot, I would go pick up a book and read about Patton. Like, so I did enjoy the content because to me it was very personal, but I did want more of the women. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Sage?
Wanting more of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm with Winnie. The formatting and just the chapters, for as long as they were, we did not need 75% of it to be about what the fellas were doing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're kind of clocked onto what they were doing anyway. If we read a passage about a frontline nurse is in a certain spot in Africa, we're like, oh, this is happening. We can make the connection.
Correct.
Other people might not be able to, but we would have made the connection.
Right. So while it might be a good book for certain people,
yeah, it wasn't great for us, and it's no gripe to the people that wrote it.
No, they put a lot of effort in. You could tell they did a lot of research.
Yeah,
very well researched.
I did recommend it to my aunt, the one that I was with in the museum when I bought it. I recommended it to her, but my aunt is a nurse, and I said to her, I think you would enjoy this because she's still learning more about the war in general. So I was like, I think you would enjoy this. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite by far that we've read. It's not my favorite this quarter that we've read. But I enjoyed it. Would it be something I go back to? Maybe only in a research, maybe only for research purposes. Like if I was looking for a specific bit of something and I knew it was in that book, I would pull it off the shelf. but
I feel like we would flick through it and be like,
yeah,
oh yeah.
it's good for that. It would serve its purpose for that, but I don't think I'd go back to it and read it cover to cover again.
No, absolutely not. I don't think so. I think this is the first time I've ever done this.
This is the first
It's
time I
gonna
think
be
we've
like-
ever been like, I didn't like it, or
like
had
it.
very strong opinions on something.
It's like, oh no, and I feel bad. But like,
I feel bad, but
like-
I'm not trashing their book. I'm just saying it's
no,
not,
No,
not for
just
me.
yeah. Yeah.
Not for me. It's like a
Not-
3 out of 5 for me. Very
Yeah.
well researched. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Very
the
well
effort.
researched.
very well researched.
I wish that there had been more about the thing that attracted me to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's my gripe with it.
Yes.
Was that it wasn't enough. Enjoyed it for the parts that did include what we picked it up for.
Correct.
Mhm.
Aside from that, no. Like a 3, and it's a weak 3 out of 5. It's like if I give it anything lower, I will dream about it tonight and have nightmares.
Correct.
Because I will just
Yeah.
feel bad. Yeah. Is that the consensus? 3
Yeah.
out of 5?
A week
Yeah.
3 out of
Yeah.
5.
Week 3, yeah.
Maybe someday
Up
we'll come back to it, but
Yeah, we'll give it another go at some point, but it's not.
But I
not
would
for
like to
me.
dig further into the nurses that were in Tunisia
For
and
sure.
stuff,
Yes,
which
yeah.
then would push us towards finding out what we
More.
initially sought to find out in this book.
Exactly. Up next, we have my favorite of the quarter, Propaganda Girls by Lisa Rogak. Loved it.
I will say
I
this
think
was also my
another book
favorite.
I picked up at the museum that I was like, we need to read this.
Need to read this.
I think all three of the 4 in this quarter I bought at the museum, and I sent pictures of them back to you guys, and I was like,
yeah,
let's
and we
get
were
these
like,
going.
hey,
Yeah.
let's get this done.
Yes.
I loved it. It was quick and it was concise,
Yes.
and it was short enough that I could manage to
The
get
chapters
it
were
done.
nice and
concise and very
Yes.
good.
and
really
I didn't lose my
enjoyed it.
place on the page while I was reading it.
I really enjoyed learning more about Marlene Dietrich, because while obviously I know her work and I know her movies and her songs, I didn't know about this side of her career. I knew about her renouncing her German citizenship. I knew about her very large spat with Hitler. I knew all about it, but I didn't know like the details. So this was really fun to get into for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every
and
time I
really
hear her
liked-
name, I think of that bit in Band of Brothers where Wild Bill yells, "Marlena, is that you?"
No, it's
but it's also
Doesn't Harry go to
Welsh.
see
Harry
her?
Welsh. Marlena
Yeah.
Dietrich's in Reims. I'm going to Reims.
I'm going to Reims. I love that. But he's like, fuck it. Why not?
But
here.
Wild Bill is in such a delusion in the forest in Bastogne that he hears somebody singing and
Yes.
he yells, "Marlena, is that you?"
It's beautiful. I really liked it. I really enjoyed how it was obviously very well researched, but it was concise. You could give it to someone that didn't know about the war very much.
Correct.
And you could say,
Yeah.
hey, this is great. This is a good starting point for you to start learning.
Yeah.
Very, very enjoyable. And it was one of the first books I could get from my local library. It was very exciting for me. I was like, it finally has something. So I read it really early on, and I got through it
me
very,
too.
very
I think
quickly.
it might have been one of the first ones I read.
It was one of the first ones I read, yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, no. I read Liz Richardson first, and then I read this one. Because I already owned the book about Liz.
Yes.
And then I got this one from the library.
Yeah.
Very good, very concise. I really, really enjoyed it. And I think
But now it's not just about Marlene Dietrich.
No, there are other women.
There are
involved.
3
There
other
are
women.
3 other girls.
There are 3 other women. And they
Yeah.
all they all kind of do something different.
Yeah.
But then eventually
Okay.
they all become intertwined with each other,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Very, very cool. Very enjoyable. Yeah, I think again we all agreed on. I think the previous book is the only one we didn't agree on. I think this one we very much agreed that it was great. This is the one I would like be recommending the most to everyone to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would.
Because it's a great place to start.
And it gives you 4 different pinpoints in the
Perspectives.
war too. Like,
Yeah.
Marlena is prominent in Hollywood and she renounces her German citizenship and she becomes like public enemy number 1 to Hitler. Like he's desperate to get her. Betty McDonald was a reporter in Hawaii who was
Yes.
in the middle of Pearl Harbor. Like, she saw it happen from her home up in the mountains and came down and reported on it. And then, you know, Jane Hutton was married to a naval attaché who was living in Tokyo at the time of the war.
Yep.
She
Oh, yeah.
becomes kind of like this POW in Tokyo. They kind of just, her and all the other wives and children that are living in this
trapped
area,
there,
they
essentially.
just lock
They-
them into their home. They put them all in one home and like lock them in.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's I want to make sure I get her name right, Zuzka.
Yeah,
And she
Zuzka.
Yeah.
grew up in Czechoslovakia
Mm-hmm.
and she flees as the
Yeah.
war is kind of encroaching on her
Yeah.
doorstep. And then they all end up working for the OSS in
Yeah.
a different capacity, which is, I think, so cool.
Very, very
You've
cool.
got
The fact
four
that they
different
Yeah.
backgrounds, four completely different women,
yeah,
all fighting
for
and
the
serving
same
for one
cause.
purpose.
I will recommend the audiobook for this one,
Really?
particularly when it comes to pronunciations and stuff.
Okay,
Amazing. Yeah, good.
good. I like that.
This was actually my second time reading it because
Amazing.
yes, because Gabby, I started listening to it like when you first sent it in the group chat.
Oh, you're like,
Which
wait,
was
I
a
have it.
while
Let me
ago at
just-
this point, because I think
Yeah.
I
Long
bought
time
this
ago,
one. Yeah, it was
yeah.
like October. It was last October when I came home with it. I came home, I don't know how I got all those books in my suitcase. I came home with like 4 books,
genuinely.
sweatshirt,
don't know how.
all these little knickknacks and things, and I was just
All
like
the stuff.
shoving them in my suitcase.
Sit on it, and then it will squish.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put them in the shopping bag and carry the shopping bag on the plane.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we all really enjoyed this one because it
Yeah.
is an easy read and a great starting point to finding out about the women of the OSS.
It is. It's
And I
like a
think-
gateway.
Yeah.
It's a gateway book
Yeah.
into further stuff.
you read these names and you can easily Google them, and then
Mhm.
we can expand
Mhm.
upon it. And that I really enjoyed that. So I wish it had been longer, actually.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't as concise. Love that it was concise. I wish it had more length to it.
I do
Like a
kind of
bit
want to
more
find
meat.
another book about the women of the OSS. It's
We
like,
can.
Agreed.
I'm
it's just
sure
so
there are.
interesting.
Yeah.
There's got to be something, right?
Yeah.
I'd for sure give this a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
My only gripe with it was that I wish it had been longer.
Yeah.
That's my.
Yeah. It's
If
one
it had
more.
been, a bit more meat around the bones. I'm glad we got as much as we did,
Yeah.
but I would have liked more. I needed it to give more. So yeah. I think 4.5 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like how we're all reaching a consensus of yes, we all agree. Final book. We had a lot to say about this. Our final book is WASP of the Ferry Command, Women Pilots, Uncommon Deeds by Sarah Bryan Rickman. We didn't know this was the third in a trilogy until...
But I don't think that you need to
later
read
on.
the other two before
Yeah.
you
I
read
don't
this
think
one.
you do.
She
No,
just wrote
I
2
would
other
like
books
to.
about the WASP
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Women's Air Force
Especially
Ferrying
knowing as
Division.
much
Yeah.
as we know about the WASP.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah, I
thing.
don't
Knowing what
think
we
we
know
would.
about the WASP and Jackie Cochran and Nancy Love, I don't think we needed the other 2 books to be like, this book isn't making sense.
I think
made
we're
perfect
still
sense.
going to seek them out, obviously,
Absolutely.
because
Yes.
we can't
Yeah.
get enough.
Totally.
Yeah.
But lots to say about this one. I'm trying to be nice and polite. I, again, was proven right that Jackie Cochran opened a door for a group of women, and then when she did not get her way, she slammed that door in their faces and achieved everything else that those women could have achieved.
Correct.
Mhm.
Terrible.
I have made my decision that as far as a human being, Jackie Cochran was not a nice person. Jackie Cochran.
I do empathize with her.
I empathize with her. She had a tough life. She had a terrible childhood.
Yeah,
Do I
yeah.
think that she is a strong woman for building the empire that she built? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do I
heck
think
yeah.
that her
Absolutely.
moral compass just doesn't exist when it comes to other people? Absolutely.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the best way to put it.
Yeah.
She has no moral compass for anybody but herself. So
We can
while she
empathize that.
did do a lot of great things, they were
Yeah.
only for Jackie.
We can empathize that she had a terrible upbringing and she had a terrible start to life,
Correct.
but that does not excuse her behavior later in life.
She
Mhm.
walked all over Nancy Love.
And Nancy just said,
Yeah.
all right, just to stop the argument.
Just to
because
say,
she
I don't want to have a
wasn't
fight, so
bothered
fine,
about
give
it.
her what she wants. But
Yeah. Nancy wanted to win the war.
people were incredibly
Yeah.
correct when they made the assumption that Jackie had Hap Arnold in her pocket.
Oh, God.
However,
Mhm.
Yeah.
there are certain points in this book where you read through it and you go, Hap really just gave her what she wanted to get her the fuck off his back.
He had other
Yeah.
things to
He
do.
had the war to
He had
win,
other
and she's
shit to
like,
do.
Nancy Love wants to do this.
He's like, whatever.
Whatever, shut up, go
It's
away.
like it's giving younger sibling.
Yes.
I was
Gets
literally
upset that the
about to
older sibling
say,
has something.
Yes. Yes.
that's how my kids fight, where
Yeah.
they fight over something and I just go, sort it out yourselves, whatever, figure it out. This isn't my problem, this is a you problem, sort it out. So I feel very much I understand Hap Arnold's opinions in that respect.
Mhm.
Where he's like, I really don't care, I've got shit to do, I'm trying to win a
They're
war here. This isn't my
correct.
problem.
Mhm.
There
Isn't my
is a
issue.
whole bunch of information in this book that I was so glad to finally get, which was more on
Right.
the women who flew but never went through Sweetwater. They never went through Avenger Field. They were never
Yes.
trained by Jackie. They were Nancy's girls, right? These were Nancy
The
Love's girls.
originals.
These were the originals. And there were a select number of WASP graduates who did fly with the originals. They were early
Yeah.
classes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I
our
like
girl-
seeing all
our-
her. Oh, there she
well,
is.
our gal, Josie Egan, Josie Pitts at the time,
Yes.
flew with the
Yeah.
originals.
My friend's in there. Congratulations. Literally, that's what happened.
That's what happened. We all got to that
Yes.
point, and then it says, flying in this division out of,
Joe
Long
Pitts.
Island to New Jersey, Joe Pitts, and I went,
My friend's in there.
There she is.
That's my friend. That's my friend. And then my kids are looking at me like,
But-
okay, go.
These were women who had an outstanding number of flight time, an outstanding number of flying hours
Yes.
before, and
Goodness.
Nancy had high requirements.
Mhm.
As she should.
Nancy
Completely
set the
agree.
bar really, really high. And then
Yeah.
at the time that Nancy's doing this, Jackie's still over in London with the ATA.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
And
she
Jackie
comes back
gets
with a
wind of it
tantrum.
with, she comes back and she's got a chip on her shoulder and a bug up her ass about it because Hap promised me I could fly. Well, Hap sent you to England to fly. He told
What is
you
it?
to build a unit in the ATA of US women. He sent you there to fly. But it wasn't enough publicity for her, so she came home.
Mhm.
At a certain point, she was just taking women with 0 flying hours into Avenger Field. This is no
Yeah.
shade to the women.
Yeah.
This is no shade
None
to
at
the
all.
girls. Anybody who graduated
no.
and was a WASP was a WASP. I respect every single one of
Mhm.
them.
Highly
But
respect.
just to prove her point,
She was taking
women with
had-
like the either 0 experience or the bare minimum. They had nothing really under their belts as far as what they could do skill wise.
Yeah.
And then it was like the people in charge of the Air Force training curriculum had to amend everything to fit this now. Whereas the first maybe 5 or 6 classes of the WASP had high flying hours and a high skill set.
Yep.
They just had to learn how to fly the Army way.
Yeah, exactly.
These women at the end really just had to learn how to fly. And I know that we could say Marie Mountain Clark was in class 44-1, but Marie was flying well before she signed up for the WASP.
Yeah, Marie was
flying well before
Marie-
she signed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But like when
Mhm.
as I'm reading, the required hours are getting lower and
Lower and lower.
I think the
Yeah.
lowest was like 18.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this
That's
isn't gonna
not.
work.
Mm-mm.
It's not a
No.
lot. really, it's not a lot. That's really, if you think about it, 6 lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. And you can do that in a week. Even now, you can do that in a week. If you take a week off work and you learn how to fly, you can get 18 hours of flying
In 1 week.
solo
Yeah.
in less than a week.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole lot. And then obviously it came to the bill for them to be grouped in with the WAC, and Jackie Cochran's kicking and screaming and stamping her foot because if it's not it, because Harry didn't get on, so she was like, well, I'm not doing that. So it was like,
Jackie
it's my
didn't get
way or
on
the
with
highway.
anybody.
Did anyone get on? I'm seeing a common denominator here, and it's not everybody else. It's her.
You know that there's
I
people
do
out
feel
there
like
that
she was
think,
a bit of a pick-me.
oh, she was definitely a pick-me.
Oh God.
There's a conspiracy
Totally.
out there that people actually think that her and her husband, because they funded Amelia Earhart's flight, that she died en route, that's the reason that her and her husband funded it, was to kind of.
Yeah, no, that does track.
Well, you hate to think so low of somebody.
Yeah, but also they knew that the navigator was a drunk.
A drunk.
He was a known alcoholic.
Yeah, Jackie and her husband knew the navigator was a drunk and apparently tried to talk her out of it, but yet you funded it anyway.
Yeah.
It's a strange.
Yeah.
It's just, very, very strange.
Yeah.
She went on
I
to
want to dive
achieve
more
so
into
much.
that at some point.
Right? Let me in there.
Back in 4th grade, I did a presentation on Amelia Earhart. I've been obsessed with her ever since. So like,
I did. I also did.
I did too.
I love this for us.
Mine was on the conspiracy of when they found that woman and they were like, she's Amelia Earhart because she looks a bit like her, like how she would look at 60 years old. And this woman's like, what the fuck?
Mine was
She
just
had
a
to have,
book
like,
report. Mine was
DNA
just
test.
a history report on Amelia Earhart. I'm pretty sure I did mine long before both of you ever did yours.
Mine was like a living museum thing where like we all like dressed up as our people.
Oh, I love that.
So cute. Stop it. I need pictures now.
Yes.
We'll find some.
Thank you. No, mine was on that hysteria where some guy was like, I found Amelia Earhart. She faked her death.
I remember that.
And now she's living in Kansas.
I remember that, yes.
And I'm like,
oh
my
God. Goodness.
I loved a conspiracy. I still do love a conspiracy, but back then especially I was like, yeah, I'm eating this up. And then there was a program on Channel 5 where this woman, it creeped me out, where the beginning was the woman saying, I'm not Amelia Earhart, and it like echoed, and I was like, I'm 12 and I'm sat like and since then I've been like, I love a conspiracy. But yet, you know, when something like really freaks you out, but you have to sit and you're like, oh my God, I need to know. That she wasn't her, obviously, but the fact that some guy was like, you look like Amelia Earhart would if she was your age, therefore let me create this hysteria. Must be. But no, I felt like this book was incredibly well researched. I love the points of view of the WAFs of Nancy's original girls. We haven't had that. We haven't had that.
No.
There's so much of the like WASP literature focuses on like Jackie's girls.
Yeah. It was nice.
I
to
loved
get a
that this was a bit of a change from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so much of the WASP literature, it focuses on Jackie herself.
Yeah, and I don't want that anymore. I want to know about the women, and I want to know more about Nancy. I feel like Nancy's kind of left in the background. And all of these women, you know, upon disbandment, they were asked to give their opinions. This is years and years later when this book is being written. And they're saying that Nancy was great, how lovely Nancy was. And then there's a few women that are like, I'm angry at Jackie. If she'd have just, you know, put her attitude aside, we could have been grouped in with the WAC. We could have received benefits. We could be buried where we wanted to be buried. When we die, we don't get. Obviously, if these poor women had died before 77 after disbandment,
and some of them did.
Some of them did. They wouldn't receive a veteran's service.
Right.
Horrible. So, you know, if she would have just put everything aside and got these women in within the WAC, she still would have had the power she wanted, but she didn't want to work alongside anyone.
Like at the end of the day, she had to, you have to realize this is not about you.
It's about
There
everybody else, but
there
she
are
couldn't see
1,000 women
past
serving
that.
under you. You are responsible for their well-being.
Yeah.
You are responsible for them. And it trickles down
She
to the
didn't.
same way that, if you look at the men, the US Army Air Force.
Yeah.
The Air Force was not an
Yeah.
individual unit during World War II. They were part of the Army. This would have been the female equivalent to that.
Mhm.
But for some reason, she just wouldn't.
She couldn't see it that way. She was
No.
so tunnel vision. She couldn't see it that
Nancy
way.
was all for it. Nancy was like, absolutely. You go
Anything that
ahead.
gets them the benefits
Anything
that they need and deserve.
Yeah.
Because look at the women in the ATA. They had insurance. They had benefits. They had
Yeah.
equal pay.
Equal pay.
If one of them died
is
in service,
insane.
they were buried properly.
Mhm.
I think as well, Nancy felt the disparity because she had married well. She would be receiving certain benefits being the wife of who she was married to.
Correct.
Yeah.
She was like, I want the same for everybody else. It shouldn't be just me getting all the glory. She
Right.
wanted to share it around.
Mhm.
And that's the huge difference between Jackie and Nancy. They had the same end goal, but I feel like
Mhm.
Nancy was going for it straight. She was just up and down, off we go.
Yes.
And she would fly with her
Yeah.
girls. She wouldn't
Yeah,
leave
she
it to
would
them.
fly with her girls. She would check out on a plane before any of her girls got into it.
Yeah, and she would
Mhm.
test it and she would bring
Yeah.
it back, or she would ferry it herself and she would come back and say, oh, it was great. I'm gonna
How
go
do
fill in
we
the
feel
paperwork now."
about that B-17 issue?
Holy God.
Mm.
When I read
Speaking
that,
of,
oh my, I mean, we kind of knew the basics, all three of us. We knew the basics of the situation.
Yeah.
I didn't know the
But
details of it
learning
like
But,
that.
like,
the details,
Goodness gracious.
I was horrified. I mean, like, how
Oof.
could you be so insecure and so wanting to be in charge that badly that you essentially fuck it up for everyone else?
It essentially solidifies that Jackie
Honestly.
wasn't a girl's girl.
Yeah,
No, she
absolutely.
wasn't. And I feel like we always say this, and we always say she wasn't for the women, even though she maintained that she was. So it's a very difficult subject to broach because we watched the movie by Jess. We watched that short movie and we interviewed Jess and Nancy, who plays Jackie.
But
and
it
it's
was
an excellent movie.
It is.
But at the same time, it's such an odd situation because
that movie's
that
not so much
movie-
about
Jackie.
Jackie. It's not about this. It's not about this part of Jackie's life. It touches on it briefly, but it's about Jackie as a person and her struggle
Yeah.
and coming up from nothing, which once again, I empathize with that.
Mhm.
It does
I
not
have
excuse
empathy
this
for
behavior.
her, and I think that it's incredible that she built a cosmetics empire and she became this well-to-do person. Like, hey, good on you. You clawed your way out of the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as somebody who came from nothing, wouldn't you, now that you have everything, want to help people who also need? She didn't do
You
that.
also need the help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her women needed her to be there for them. They
She
needed
sort of
her in
abandoned
their
them.
corner, and they put their faith in her as a leader, and she didn't deliver, in my opinion, as a leader.
I feel like
Yeah.
she abandoned them. I
Mhm.
feel like she,
And when
like I
she'd
said at
show
the
up, she'd
beginning-
show up wrapped in a
Definitely.
fur coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During rationing. Come on,
Yeah.
girl.
Mm.
Come on, girl. But no, the book was great, incredibly well researched.
So good, yes.
I want us to seek out the other two just for
Yeah.
enjoyment, because I feel like at this point we know.
Yeah.
We didn't know this part,
Mhm.
but we know the first two. Definitely a 5 for me.
Yeah.
5,
For
yeah.
content. I wish it was less
Yes.
unwieldy because it's one of those bigger.
Mhm.
It's not a book you can hold comfortably for a long period of time. That's another gripe.
Okay. I'm glad I got the ebook then.
Yes.
It's
one of those.
Yeah, she's hefty, but she's not as hefty as like And If I Perish is a thick book, but it's short.
But it's
Mhm.
soft and you can kind of hold it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's on the same paper as Elizabeth's book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the same material as that, and the spine never cracks. You know the ones. So
Yeah.
you're like holding it,
But
and then
how
you're
many times you go
shaking
like
every 3
this with
minutes.
it, it's like
Yeah. It's like
just
But no,
open up a little more, just a little give.
bit more.
Yeah.
For sure a 5. I really enjoyed it. And you wouldn't know it was one of a trilogy
No.
until we found out. We were like, oh,
cool.
then no, for sure 5.
And then I was like, sorry guys,
Absolutely.
I didn't realize there were 2 more ahead of this when I picked it up, but
we know the
We
information
know.
from the other 2 anyway, but still we're gonna
get there.
I think we still should.
Yeah.
We should still do those 2 as well.
Maybe we'll get
But
some fun new facts.
Yeah, exactly. No, all 4 were great. I'm really glad we had a great mix.
Me too.
Yeah.
Of all of them.
I do want to find another book about the nurses.
Same.
Just to
absolutely.
Something that focuses more on
palate
them.
a little bit.
It was so I didn't want to know about the men. I picked it up to learn about the women, and I ended up knowing more about the guys, which I already knew.
Yeah.
So
To the listeners, if you guys have any recommendations, please.
Because this was rough. This was a hard one. Gabby, do you want to do and announce the next 4?
Yes. Even though we've put this out on the Instagram already, but just in case, for any of our listeners who don't have socials, you can get the list right here from us. I'm going to read it to you, or you can get the list on our new website.
Promo.
We
have a nice, lovely,
you can get this list, and all previous lists are linked back on our website. So if you don't have Instagram or Facebook, there you go. So for July, August, and September, we are reading The Girl and the Bombardier by our friend Susan Tate Ankeny, Meet Me at Rainbow Corner by Celia Imrie, Kick Kennedy by Barbara Lemming, and All the Way, The Life of Baseball Trailblazer Maybelle Blair. Is there anyone in that list that you guys are really excited to get into?
So excited to do Rainbow Corner by Celia Imrie. I love Celia. She's one of my favorite actresses. So knowing that she wrote a book that is about one of my favorite things, like, can we get any more Queen? Come on, girl.
I'm currently reading Rainbow Corner. So
I love Celia, and I'm super excited to get into Kit Kennedy also, because I am sat and waiting for the series.
I'm excited to get into Kit Kennedy too, because she served in the Red Cross, right? So there's that for us, and she was friends with Taddy Spatz, I believe.
And they were also friends with Fitcha Pitts.
Yeah, they were.
It's all connected.
Fitcha Pitts went over to England on the boat with Kick and Taddy. She roomed with both of them. So it's, I feel like it's the Spider-Man meme where all 3 of them are pointing at each other. But I'm also really excited to read All the Way about Maybelle Blair, because you guys all know I love A League of Their Own. I love the Women's Baseball League. And Maybelle Blair is still alive, and that bit to me is just very special, because she still goes out and does so many events, and she has a cane, but her cane is a baseball bat.
Amazing.
Which I love, which is so
incredible. Cute. I love that.
So cute.
I love that.
I'm really excited for All the Way, especially with the news about the Women's Pro Baseball League.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love that they started with 4 teams for that, because there were only 4 teams when the league started in the 40s.
Yeah, I really do love that. Very exciting. I'm excited for all of them, but particularly those. So I think we're going to have another really great few months reading.
Very excited.
Yeah.
On to our new little section of book club recaps. What are we all reading right now?
What are we reading? Winnie, what are you reading right now?
I have quite the pile. I don't know if you do follow our socials. I posted a couple months ago this huge bag of books from the library. All my holds came in at once, and I had 9 to get through. And then I got through all of them, and now I have another 4.
She has a problem.
Hang on. I have an issue. Listen, I've got lots of time on my hands.
I'm right there with you, bestie.
Right? I'm currently reading The Freedom Line by Peter Eisner, which is about the Comet Line and about Didi Lahange as they help downed airmen cross the border and get back to their bases. I'm reading Codename Lisa by Larry Loftus, which is about SOE agent. So that's very exciting. Off World War II topics, I'm reading Wellness by Nathan Hill, which is, I don't know how to describe it. It's very modern. I think it's very slice of life. It's like the modern connotations of marriages and relationships, and it's fiction, but it could be very, very true to life. Already have a fan cast in my head for it. That's how much I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
And I'm also rereading Say Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe. But the three that I have finished and I really want to recommend to everyone are The Poet and the Silk Girl by Satsuki Ina, which is about a married couple who during World War II are sent to the Japanese internment camps. And Satsuki and her brother were born while her parents were interred in the camps. They were there for 4 years. And her parents didn't want to answer yes to being conscripted, to being drafted into the Japanese American section of the army. So they answered no on the survey. And that meant that they were, quote unquote, renouncing their US citizenship, but they weren't. They just didn't want to serve a country that was betraying them, essentially. So the parents are separated. The mother stays with the children in one camp, and the father's sent to prison, essentially, for saying that he's still loyal to Japan. But from my opinion, why would you be loyal to a country that's betraying you based on what you look like? Why would you stay loyal? But again, like I always say, everyone was in a panic. Everyone thought that, you know, if you were Japanese, you were the reason for the bombing of Pearl Harbor. If you looked Japanese, it was your fault. You were obviously spying for them. The second book I read that I really enjoyed is called Glory in Their Spirit by Sandra M. Bolzenius. And it is about the 4 African-American WACs that went on strike because they were being trained. They were being trained as nurses in the WAC, but they were only scrubbing floors and doing menial jobs. The racist connotations of that. And then a lot of their white seniors were saying that I don't want colored nurses. You're here to scrub the floors and clean toilets. You're here to not do the job you were told you were doing. So 4 of them went on strike and they were court-martialed and they were sentenced to years of hard labor until the charges were dropped because they were essentially provoked into dropping the strike and dropping the reasons they were doing it. They all went back to work, all 4 of them. And then they ended their time in the WAC, and that was that. You never hear from them ever again. And a final one was Ethel Rosenberg, An American Tragedy by Anne Seber. This was a rabbit hole I leaped into recently. The name is familiar to everyone, so I don't think I need to explain it, but the name was not familiar to me because we don't learn about her in England. It's a lot to get into, and I'm already taking up most of everyone's time with the other 3 books I mentioned. But if you do not know who Ethel Rosenberg is, Google, dive in. I'm excited to get into an episode about her eventually because the story does start in World War II. So while it does carry on into the 50s, the starting point is a subject that we can really get into. So that's exciting. Lots of stuff going on in my brain. Lots of time with my head down and reading. So very fun. What about you guys? What have you been doing?
I am currently reading Meet Me at Rainbow Corner. I'm in the very early bits of it. I'm only about 115 pages in.
How is it?
It is very good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I like that she gives you a cast list at the beginning of the book so that you kind of know who everybody is and where, like, what part of the military and like what country they're serving for. I have recently gotten to the bit of it where the espionage is kicking in. So it's like there are some very dark corners in Rainbow Corner. And I was
surprising
out yesterday. I went to get a pedicure. So I always take a book with me so I can read. And just as she was finishing and asking me to get up and move over to sit where they were going to dry, where I had to dry my toes, I was like, oh, and I finished the chapter and I was like, damn it. And I had to close the book.
Oh no.
But it's very good. It's very, very good. I am also beginning the book on Maybelle Blair and also reading Private Johnny Johnston Whack by Edith Miriam Johnston, which is basically a series of letters of Private Johnston during World War II and her time in the Women's Auxiliary Army Corps before they become the WAC.
Before they become the singular, yeah.
But then she, obviously she does transition into the singular WAC. And I will leave you with, I am reading it for research purposes.
Hooray!
I am reading it for research purposes, yes.
We're very excited.
Lots of cool things happening over here.
Lots of cool stuff. Sage, what about you? I think we're reading reading multiples at the same time.
Quite the list.
Yeah.
My copy of Maybelle Blair's book came in at the library, so I'm reading that.
Yay.
And I'm reading A Woman of No Importance by Sonia Purnell. It's essentially about the World War II spy Virginia Hall, which I feel like it's very appropriate for July, which is Disability Pride Month. She was an amputee.
She was, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was doing all her spy things as an amputee, which was, I think, very cool. Love
Especially
that for her.
then.
I love that you call it her spy things. She's doing her spy things.
Her spy things, yes. And then I've also read quite a few other books. One of my favorites was Mother Was a Gunner's Mate by Josette Dermody Wingo.
I need to get into that.
Yes, we have it.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah, I need to do it. I need to get into it.
Yeah.
It's a memoir, I believe, and it's about Josette, who was a part of the Waves, women accepted for volunteer emergency service in the Navy during World War II, and so about her time there. It's very cool. The next one is it's a little bit different, but it's called Echoes of Infamy. It's the third in a series. It's a third in a sort of murder mystery series that takes place just post World War II. The previous two books, I believe, take place during World War II. But it's about there's a murder that happens, and then this husband and wife detective team essentially have to team up with this soldier who was part of the Japanese American Army. And his family were in the internment camps, and it's all about the impact of that post World War II. It's a murder mystery fiction. It's very cool. Yes.
That sounds great.
It's on the list. I have a long list. I'm so sorry.
It's the same length as mine. Don't worry about it. Mine's the same.
Next one is Code Girls by Liza Mundy. It's about essentially the American counterpart to Bletchley Park and the Code Breakers, and all about the women who were stationed there. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Next up was Coffin Corner Boys.
I know you really enjoyed that one.
It was so good.
I really liked that one.
So good. Yes. It's essentially the story of this bomber group, or this one bomber crew who takes off for their very first mission and is shot down.
Yeah.
And
The
it's
first go.
their
Goodness.
first flight, and then they're
Jeez.
down. And so it's about all 10 of the crew trying to find their way out of Germany, or like some of them end up as POWs, some of them are just forever on the run until they get out of Germany. And it's such a good book. It's so good.
Yeah, we need to read that one too. It
Yeah.
sounds great.
I just put it on my list.
Amazing.
Yes. And then the last one on my list is it's 1,000 Sisters, the heroic airwomen of the Soviet Union in World War II by Elizabeth Wine?
I want to say Ween. I want to say
Yeah.
Ween.
Yeah,
I know you really like that one too.
You
really,
did.
really enjoyed
You were
that
sending
one.
us snippets from inside the book for like a whole week, and I was like, this looks really good.
Need to get in there too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's about the women aviators of the Soviet Union during World War II. And they were the first women to get to fly combat in World War II. First and only women.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's so good.
That's incredible.
This book is, I feel like, geared more towards like a younger audience, like young adult, more high school age, but it's still so good. It's really good if you want like a basic.
Yeah. What a great starting point. Especially, and I always sort of feel a little bit, envious on behalf of like the WASP when you've got other places just accepting women flying in combat, and they're like, cool, go ahead, you need to fill a spot anyway. Right. And then the struggles that the girls here had to endure just to be able to ferry from Long Island to
New Jersey,
somewhere else,
right? 40 minutes, Long Island to New Jersey.
40 minutes, and everyone's kicking off. Like, they all sound great. We're very, very busy.
We're very busy.
Very busy.
Very busy reading things. Everyone got some great recommendations, I think. And we're really excited to get into this next quarter.
I can't believe we're in third quarter already for this year.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Goodness.
Isn't that insane?
I can't believe it. Where is the time going?
It's running away from us because all we're doing is reading.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
All we're doing is reading everything, so it goes quickly. We hope you guys join us in reading these next ones. We're really excited for them. And let us know what you thought of the previous ones. Drop us a message. I'm working on making a Goodreads story graph. Isn't sitting well with anyone. The user interface is frustrating. No. So I'm gonna be attempting to move our reviews to Goodreads, so keep an eye out for that. We will post a link in the near future. We'll make sure it gets on our socials, on the website. It'll be there. And as always, guys, if you have a book you think we should be reading, or if you've read something you think would suit us well, or just have a recommendation in general, just drop it in our inbox, email it to us. We are very accessible. Because what's one more book in the ever-growing pile? But hey, what a great way to spend your time though. What do you collect? Books. Yeah. Books.
Real. Yes.
Books.
Thank you so much everyone for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our little chin wag about books. I sure did. I always do.
I always do.
I love talking about the books that we're reading. Right. And thank you, Sage, again for joining us. It's always,
thank you guys again for having me.
Always our favorite when you're here.
Yes.
Really is. We will see you guys soon, and thanks for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.